All right, I think we are live.
Yay!
There we go. I got the message. We are live. Okay, so here we are back for another round with the Baird Circle -1. Unfortunately, Dan had an emergency he had to attend to, so he can't be with us today. So we wish him well. Hopefully, everything's good on his end.
We love you, Dan.
Yes, we all love you. So hopefully everything works out on your end. But we have lots of Wrestlemania to talk about, so we might as well just jump right into this because there is a stacked card to talk about. So I'll let Calvin's got the list of matches up. So let's start right off with what we think is going to happen here.
Well, I guess. Well, first of all, hi everybody. I'm sorry I was.
Oh yes, I didn't even introduce anybody. So we've got Kelvin there, Kelvin Cabrer.
Hello.
And we got Matt Tepperman.
Hey everybody.
And I'm the douchebag that didn't introduce them, Greg, from Men of the Den. So all right, so back to what we were saying. So let's look at the match card here.
So let me take over from Greg the douchebag here, and
okay.
And let's start out. The card, as it stands right now, is 14 matches long, I believe, and
we're expecting to go like 7 hours now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
I mean, it starts at
crazy.
5. So you know, it's gonna be something. They've already announced the pre-show matches. We're gonna start out with the Cruiserweight Championship, which is currently open because artist known as Enzo Amore is an actual piece of shit. So
I'm about to burn my soft shirt, so you know.
Yeah, so it's.
I don't think you have a choice but to burn the soft shirt at this point, really.
Well, I mean, Big Cass isn't that much better, so
yeah,
pretty much. Shit deserves to be thrown in a flaming trash can.
But we do have the extremely deserving finalists of the Cruiserweight tournament, and it's Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. And,
okay.
Cedric Alexander has been there since the beginning. Moose came in, I believe, in the second or third show. And it was both were part of the original Cruiserweight tournament, and Cedric definitely stood out from the crowd. I don't know. It's pretty open as to who's going to win. They've been doing a whole like mutual respect thing on 205 Live. But right now, I would think they probably want to go in a completely different direction, and I could see them giving the title to Mustafa Ali.
I can see that too. Although this has been something that has been eluding Cedric for, at least the past 4 or 5 months, because they were going to have that feud between him and Enzo, and then the whole Enzo gate happened. So we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. It's totally up in the air. But they both have, they're both big high flyers. So yeah. I expect this one to go hopefully come right out of the gate, just charge in full force. So hopefully people will watch and. Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be rough having this match go on in front of like 100 people inside a goddamn football stadium.
Yeah, while people
that sucks
filling in. Yeah. That's what I hate about the kickoff show. It's just it's always the cursed spot. I feel like, but I feel like if they do enough really cool spots, which they do on a regular basis, I think it'll get enough heads turning. But yeah, I think it's gonna go to Cedric. I think it's his time. But I could see it going the other way too, just as much. So yeah, I think it's a very close one to call.
Yeah. Greg, do you have any thoughts on it?
I personally think it'll go Cedric's way.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they had the build up. I think he was going to win it from Enzo, and he kind of got screwed because of Enzo Gate, as you said.
Yeah.
And I think they may still put it on him. But again, I'm not really sure. It could really go either way. Yeah.
And so that's going to be probably in the 5 o'clock hour. The pre-show starts at 5 o'clock, and the show starts at 7. So technically, you can just strap in for about 6 hours worth of wrestling. The 5 o'clock part is going to start on the network, and then 6 o'clock they're actually going to be in, at least in America, they're going to be on the USA Network.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not sure what they're going to do in Canada, if they're going to put it on. Is it TSN or that it's on right now?
Sportsnet.
Sportsnet.
I'm sure the 6 o'clock hour will be on Sportsnet. So
yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'll watch it on the WB network anyway, but
for those of you who don't have an account or what have you,
or live outside America,
right? Exactly.
Oh yeah.
One for those of you who are in the UK.
There you go.
Yeah. They've said that the battle royals are going to happen on there, so let's talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That is going to be a lot of people. Basically, any man who is on the roster who does not have a main card match is going to be there, just so that they can get their WrestleMania payout.
It's been a fun build up to that. Seeing everybody have their own little spot on SmackDown and Raw. I love the whole thing with Dolph Ziggler and Breezango. It just looked like that they were all having fun. And Tyler Breeze was sent out a tweet because that was his 1000th match officially. So it was just kind of cool to see how thankful he was. A nice little pull back the curtain moment, with the whole camaraderie thing. But
a little addendum to that. He actually said in that tweet, if you tweet me a number between 1 and 1,000, he would actually tell you about his notes on that particular match.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That's dedication.
In terms of the participants, I think this is going to be a spot where you see a couple of big returns.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Supposedly, from what we've been told, Jeff Hardy has been cleared. They're waiting to bring him back. And the other one who's been cleared is Big Cass.
Yes.
Oh.
That guy.
So yeah,
I've heard about that. If they are used at WrestleMania, that would be fantastic. I would also not be surprised if they are not used and saved for the first Raw after WrestleMania for sort of a bigger reaction. I'm hoping they do that with Jeff. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that with Big Cass. Jeff is my favorite wrestler of WWE. Post that got big post Attitude Era, and still kind of is to this day. He kind of helped me get over my fear of heights. But yeah, I really hope that if they're not in, I kind of hope that they're not in the battle royal. I wouldn't be surprised if either one was. Especially since Woken Matt is in it, because that would be really cool. But yeah, I could really see them have really big reactions coming on Raw on the Monday.
And are you okay with him coming back as Brother Nero?
Oh God, yes. Are you kidding me?
Okay, good.
Oh
good.
my God, yeah.
I was gonna say that's what I'm hoping because he needs that freshening up in the WWE. So
yeah,
I think he needs the Brother Nero character.
Yeah, but we need a like a significant opponent in Matt Hardy for him to introduce Brother Nero. I feel like
Right.
If they bring back Bray Wyatt and do and have him do Sister Abigail, that would be great. But the problem with that is they have been overplaying Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy way too much. So unless they do another gimmick match, like an Extreme Rules match, that would be cool. But again, it's a broken record.
I don't know.
It could go either way, but I would like to see a really big opponent for Matt so he can bring in Jeff as Brother Nero.
Yeah. I'm sure whatever repackaged version of Bray Wyatt that was caused by the final deletion or the ultimate deletion rather,
right.
that could debut here.
I absolutely think it's gonna. I think we'll see some version of Woken Wyatt come out.
I'm also.
And I don't. Yeah.
I'm also really excited for them to keep using the Hardy compound for for the WWE versions of Delete and Decay or
Tag Team Apocalypto.
That has to happen because that absolutely has to happen because honestly, the tag team division's been, with the exception of Braun Strowman, and the Bar, the tag team division has been kind of dead, and it really, really, really needs a giant shot in the arm. And I think that would be the perfect thing, the perfect shot in the arm for that to get. So,
yeah, I was going to say I'd like to see Matt win the Battle Royal. Yes, actually, give him a little bit of a singles push.
Yes,
I would be not surprised at all if if Matt wins, especially since they did that whole procure thing on
procure.
Yes,
I love that.
Procure.
But right now I'm going to call Big Cass returning and winning it, since it just seems like they're gonna strap a rocket to his ass regardless of what happens, and I think that's just the way it's gonna be.
I agree with you there. I think he was destined for a giant meteoric push.
It hurt. So
yeah, and then of course he got he basically completely tore and messed up his ACL and was out. But yeah, he was destined for that, and that's luckily for him, that's not that only just delayed it. So I can definitely see him winning. What I'm interested in is, like, who do you guys see as the final four of that tournament? Or not tournament, that Battle Royal.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it's probably going to be something along the lines of of Matt, Cass, probably, and on the SmackDown side, I'm not even sure which side Cass is on right now. I think he's still Raw, technically. Probably on the SmackDown side, I would say somebody like Ziggler and what's his goddamn name? Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
They were running that whole. Yes, I feel the same way. I see like just face palming there, and I feel the same way. But
I love Dolph. I will never ever hate on Dolph again. Like, I love Dolph too much to hate on him.
Please allow me to hate on him, because he's been completely lazy and unmotivated for about 3 years now. So it's we almost got rid of him, but somehow he ended up with a new contract, and now he's back. So all right, well, we can continue on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think, Greg? Who do you think is going to win the battle royal?
I'm hoping it'll be Matt. Matt's my pick. I really want him to win it.
Okay. Well, then we can move on from there to the not fabulous Moolah.
Burn.
For those of you who do not know,
just call it May. Sorry.
Yeah, the women's battle royal was originally called the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal, and then, well, history has a way of biting the WWE in the ass.
And
amazingly so.
Revolted. The internet revolted and told Snickers about it. And Snickers was not happy at all because Snickers is the prime sponsor for WrestleMania. So yeah.
Snickers and Vince apparently had a bit of a conversation, and the name was dropped, and so now it's just the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. There was actually another quick story here where Jericho shared a text that he sent to Vince, and he actually suggested it should be called the Sensational Battle Royal and named after Sherry Martel.
Right.
It gave everything to the industry. Unfortunately, passed away way too young. But she was an absolutely incredible performer, and from what I understand, one of the kindest people in the industry. But Vince's reply was the 3-letter THX. So thanks. So
wow.
Take from that whatever you will.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. We'll see. Basically, this is getting every woman that has not got a main roster match onto the card, with the absolute prime focus being on the building Sasha and Bayley.
Yep. It's looking good, honestly, because I'm hoping that they don't like try to have a rehab. Well, I mean, obviously we want it to be organic, but there's only so much that those two can do with their relationship. But we don't want WWE to force it. What I'm referring to, of course, is the masterpiece that was Sasha and Bayley at TakeOver Brooklyn, which Kelvin went to that live. You lucky bastard. I mean, hopefully that'll be. Hopefully, what they'll do is really set this chain reaction off, and long term, maybe even headline a few pay-per-views like Sasha and Charlotte did, like with Hell in a Cell and a few, which was brutal but so much fun to watch. And as well as headline a lot of Raws, which is what Charlotte and Sasha did a couple times over, which featured a lot of title changes.
A lot.
Yeah. So,
and the only exception is I want to see a Bayley heel turn, though. I want her to be the heel going into the match.
How do you become a heel with hugging as your gimmick?
I honestly think if they do it,
sweep the life out of them. How do you do that?
I'm going to compare it to Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because Sami Zayn went from being babyface to awesome sarcastic heel. And I could see Bayley doing a very similar thing where she just take her character, make it very sarcastic.
I could see that working perfectly Just
and have the wacky inflatable guys come up, but they all have frowny faces on them instead of happy faces. Oh, I totally could see it.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure that's going to be
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be featured heavily in the Battle Royal. However, I think they're going to probably end up costing each other the match.
I agree.
And that will somehow... I think Bailey is going to be the one to throw Sasha out and then like be distracted, and then somebody else is going to come in and toss him. I believe this is going to be Becky Lynch's moment.
Yes.
Because she's basically been, unfortunately, dead in the water for months on.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, and more than anybody else, she needs this. So, especially if they plan on building whatever ends up happening with the superstar shakeup, if they, which has sort of been teased for the Raw after WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens there if she ends up on Raw or on SmackDown. But they need to make a bigger deal out of her, and I think it's going to be Becky going to win this battle.
I definitely agree with you there. I think it's going to be Becky. I think I've heard she's been heavily favored to win this match. And honestly, I think she's been, kind of sitting in the shadows as a team player for the SmackDown women's roster for the past year and a half because there hasn't really been much of a roster on the SmackDown women's. So, obviously they needed to put the title on different people for that to happen. And they did that with Alexa Bliss before she got on to Raw. They did it with Naomi, they did it with Natalya, and now they're doing it with Charlotte. And it just and obviously, and now that Carmella has Money in the Bank, they have to feature. I completely understand why Becky had to, dial it back a little bit so they could feature all the other women on SmackDown Live. But this, she is long overdue for her time to shine. And whether she stays on SmackDown or goes to Raw, that remains to be seen. But I can definitely see her being a bigger part of the women's division on either side. But yeah, this is her time to shine. Because honestly, now they need to the four horsewomen need to be all seriously featured, especially now that they're bringing up the four horsewomen from the UFC with Ronda and Shayna Baszler, and I don't know who the other two are, but I feel like this should be a slow build to those 8 having major rivalries with each other. I don't know when that'll culminate, but I definitely can see that happening. Yeah. Everybody can see that happening, but we need the four horsewomen back and in their prime, and Becky's that last piece.
Yeah. And Greg, who do you think is going to win?
I hope it's Becky, but I think they might give it to Bailey to push through this Bailey-Sasha rivalry. So we'll see, but
I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey and Sasha are like the top 5 or the top 4.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely going somewhere close to the end if they don't actually win it.
Yeah, and I actually, my other wild card pick would be a brand new debuting Ember Moon.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I would love that so much.
I'd like that a lot. Although we'll see how she's going to be after her match with Shayna.
Yeah. I was going to say, we'll see how tonight goes, right? Yeah.
We'll talk about Takeover New Orleans in a moment here. Well, actually, we can talk about it now because we've just gone through the pre-show and
that's true.
A super quick rundown of Takeover New Orleans. First of all, we've got Cien Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Aleister Black is still undefeated. He's
minus the pin that he took for Johnny in the Fatal 4-Way. We don't count that.
But nobody counts that. He's undefeated in one-on-one matches. I think we've got we're gonna have a new NXT champion tonight.
I do too.
Something that I've noticed is we've got history repeating itself because Black and Almost faced each other this time a year ago. So that'll be I completely forgot about that. So that'll be really cool to see.
Yeah, Almost definitely has been killing it as champion. With the Gargano mini feud, and
he had some great help along that way with that, and props to those two. We'll talk about Johnny in a second too, but like those two just have been absolutely blowing the roof off, and props to Almost for just keeping up with everything and working his ass off for that. So.
And I think them throwing Selena Vega at him helped him so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He always had the ring skill, but he didn't quite have the chops on the mic. And giving him Selena has been perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let them fight over the title for the next couple months, and then. I guess the next takeover is
Chicago.
Takeover Chicago.
Chicago.
So that should be like the rematch there, and hopefully Aleister Black pulls it out. But you did mention it, and the other main blood feud that's going on right now is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Fight forever.
I think everybody's thoughts on this are fuck Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Because wow, I mean, he has been a perfect pure heel.
His heel heat has gone nuclear at this point. Like
it's amazing.
It is amazing to me. It's obviously this was a feud that they had planned. The breakup of DIY after the incredible tag team championship win and then championship loss. Both of those matches were absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And then Ciampa getting hurt. Unfortunately, the weekend before that, the title loss. Gutted through that match and then pulled the humongous heel turn, the shocking heel turn that everybody knew was coming, but
still were unbelievably surprised to see. And honestly, I can see this going on for a while. I also wouldn't be surprised if they culminate it back where it started in Chicago, and. I honestly, my prediction, given the stipulations, it's going to be if Johnny wins, he's back in NXT. If Tommaso wins, Johnny is banished from NXT forever.
NXT and WWE, I think, was the last I heard.
Oh, and WWE? Okay,
yeah. So completely gone forever.
Wow. Okay. That's a good stipulation.
Which pretty much solidly locks this as a Gargano win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is money. Like that is money for them for them to have Johnny and Tommaso keep fighting. That is just that is a money printer for those two, because with how hard those two work, like I said, they could fight forever and no one would bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I see Johnny winning this. I see Tommaso probably winning the rematch in Chicago, and I could see them exchanging a couple more wins and losses with each other over the next. Oh, hi, buddy. We got a special guest. I could see them exchanging wins and losses over the next couple months in pay-per-views, because this rivalry is going to be far from over.
Yeah, absolutely. So then after that we have the tag team championship, which is, well, let's actually turn back from that, because there's the Dusty
Cup.
Yeah, I mean, well, we could talk about that in a second, because there's something that relates to the other big, huge match, which is the brand new North American Championship, where we have a ladder match with Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole (parentheses baby). We also have Killian Dane. We have
Lars Sullivan.
Who is quickly becoming like the ugly bear muscle god that you all know you love and you fantasize about, and then whatever. I'm sorry, I got lost.
The next Brock Lesnar, but hot.
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
But really fucking hot.
Yeah. And then we have the brand new debuting. Thank God I got out of TNA, EC3, and the graduating from Ring of Honor and all the indies, we have Ricochet. So, Ricochet being in this match just adds a level of destruction that's going to be crazy. I think this match is probably going to end up stealing the show.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. I think EC3 is going to be the one to win this. Because they are clearly making a big deal about him being the 1%er, and we'll see how that goes. But I think it's going to be a crazy match, so it's going to be fun.
I do not care who wins this match. I'm just going to be happy it happens.
I want Dream to win it.
I want Dream to win it because he really deserves it. But honestly,
he absolutely does.
If it's Dream, if it's Cole, if it's EC3, or if it's Ricochet, I'll be happy. I'll be happy as a clam. And I mean, honestly, the only reason they added Killian and Lars in there was for the destruction factor, which also makes me just as happy. But I don't see them winning it. But because they're too big to climb up ladders, honestly.
But we can let's keep this short because we've got a lot to talk about. But we also from there we can talk about the tag team championships, which is a triple threat match between who's it? Pete Dunne and
Strong.
And Roderick Strong, and the Authors of Pain, and the Undisputed Era, who unfortunately had a massive injury happen. NXT pretended it happened last weekend, but it actually happened when they taped. I guess this was in the beginning of March. So it's Bobby Fish and maybe Adam Cole.
Other way around. Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. Bobby Fish is injured.
Bobby Fish got injured. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, O'Reilly and maybe Cole in the Undisputed Era. It kind of sounded like they were teasing, like on the video promos at least, it kind of sounded they were teasing a fourth member of Undisputed Era coming in. I'm not sure about that, but because Adam Cole pulling double duty is going to be extremely rough with a ladder match also on that that same show.
But I mean, we haven't seen stuff. You know, people have done it before. We saw Dean Ambrose do it in the Royal Rumble, and look how much he worked. So I kind of hope that he does it, but he deserves a huge rest after that.
Yeah. I'm probably guessing the Undisputed Era keeps their titles. So
I'm hoping for Roddy and Pete, but yeah, I'm going with Undisputed Era. AOP has been in NXT long enough, and they deserve a call up.
Yeah, that's my theory too. Is they're getting called up after WrestleMania anyway? So yeah, I think I'm thinking Roddy and Dunn.
Yeah, and then the Women's Championship is the final match on that card. That's Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler.
Oh, God.
I think Ember's toast.
Yeah. By everyone else on the women's roster. Hello, Shayna. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And Ember Moon is ready to move up. So I think it may be time for her to go.
Yeah.
So that's TakeOver. That's happening tonight on the network. Should be an absolutely amazing match, an absolutely amazing card. Definitely be sure to go watch it on the network. But now we get to the main event, which is WrestleMania and the main event card. I think we're going to start with the tag team championship. Probably we're going to start out with the triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. That is going to be the Usos, who are the champions right now, versus the New Day in their best of 227,624 continuing series of matches.
Can I just say this? I feel like this is a poo break match. This is probably the match I'm going to go take my time, go to the bathroom, go get a snack. I don't care.
And we forgot the
versus the Bludgeon Brothers, who I think it's just going to this is going to be that high energy match that gets everybody started, that gets everybody moving in on the roster, like in the card, like in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
You got the high flying. You got the high flying energy from New Day and Usos, and then you've got the destructive forces that are Harper and
Rowan.
that are Harper and Rowan, and basically, I just see a lot of flying, a lot of catching, and a lot of throwing the first two teams into things, which is going to be fun to watch.
I am not seeing any other outcome other than the Bludgeon Brothers winning this match, because they haven't even been shown to be able to be hurt at all before this. So,
not to mention the repackaging that they've been going through, they deserve this. Harper was a tag team champion and an intercontinental champion before, but they were kind of very, very forgettable defenses. So they deserve this. And they've been working too hard for the past 2-3 years for them not to have a major crowning tag team championship victory. So this goes to them.
Then we have the other. I'm sorry, Greg. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it makes sense that the Bludgeon Brothers win. I mean, they've been trying to build them up a little bit, and this is really the only way to do it at this point. So, I think you're right. I think the Bludgeon Brothers kind of need to win this, or the repackage was for nothing.
Yeah.
That
plus the fact that the Usos basically have nobody else left to fight after that.
Yeah.
Let's also add the fact that the New Day does not really need. They don't need the tag team championships like at all. Like they're just as amazing without it, and they're still going to be such a huge draw. Regardless of whether they're champions or not, because they're so much fun to watch.
Although I'm going to give a 20% chance that that Big E turns on them.
Oh,
Ooh.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the Raw Tag Team Championships now, where Cesaro and Sheamus are defending against Strowman and question mark. A bit of the backstory here, we'll take you behind the curtains here for a little bit, as this has been reported. Braun Strowman has been in an interesting position. Vince, for the last 6 months or so, he's seen dollar signs when he sees Braun Strowman, and he knew he needed to take control of his career and to make him his pet project. And by all accounts, it's been working. And then up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Braun Strowman was being called the backup plan for the World Championship match, for the Raw Universal Championship match. Something happened to either Roman, or if Brock decided to be an unprofessional shit and no show.
This was more like a Roman thing, actually. It was, long story short, there was a guy that got arrested. His name was Johnny Bravo, not the cartoon character. But he was arrested for a major drug ring, major steroid ring, and he mentioned Roman Reigns as
mentioned Roman Reigns' real name. So
yeah, his real name. So in case everything with Roman went hits up, they had a backup plan in Braun Strowman for him to win from Brock. So,
right, and so the thing was also that Cesaro and Sheamus actually didn't have a match until a couple of weeks ago, until everything was pretty much locked in position. They were just being talked about doing some backstage angle to get them on the roster on the card, and but not wrestle a match. So we end up where we are right now, where we have a tag title defense, 2-on-1. So the possibilities have been endless with this. I think my school of thought. Well, let's go to you guys, because I have 2 schools of thought on this, and I like them both. Well, I like one more. I like one. I know the other one's going to happen, but let's talk to Teppy first. Let's see what you think.
So my theory is that they're going to bring Elias in, and it's going to be Braun's partner. I think I'd like for that to happen, just because with all the with all the matches that have been going on between Braun and Elias. The Symphony of Destruction was so much fun to watch. I honestly think that it's just going to be the Braun Strowman show, and Elias is going to be cowering and being like, okay, all right, it's yours. It's either going to be that, or Elias is going to actually help Braun and smash guitars over people's faces, or backs. Sorry, not faces. And yeah, maybe if it doesn't, but maybe this added part doesn't sound too far fetched. Maybe Jeff Jarrett will get in there and help him or something, because he's got the whole Jeff Jarrett guitar thing. But I don't know. Like, there's that. Yeah, that may not happen. Whatever. But my guess is it's Elias.
And do you think they're going to win?
I could see it, but then again, I also see Braun, in the running for greater things. So it could go either way. Either way, I will be entertained.
Yeah. What about you, Greg? Who do you think is going to partner with?
Well, I agree with Matt. I don't like Elias, but I suspect that will probably be his partner. I would much rather see, probably where you're going, Kelvin, is I'd actually rather see him take the belts by himself, because it would push him more as a powerhouse if he won the tag belts on his own.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
So the two. I'm glad you guys actually didn't go with the theories that I had.
Oh.
I have two theories about this match. First of all, I'm struggling to remember his name now. It was right on the tip of my tongue, but I think we're going to get to it being time for the match, and Braun not having a partner, and just looking around backstage and seeing the chinless freak, whose name I can't remember right now. James Ellsworth. Yes, I'm sorry. James Ellsworth say, "Fine, you'll do. Just sit in the corner. Don't do anything."
I hope you're fucking kidding. I hope that does not happen. I hate Ellsworth. Oh my god.
But here's my theory about how that match would go. We'd have Braun basically running 10 to 12 minutes of absolute destruction, completely destroying Sheamus and Cesaro, and then Ellsworth tagging himself in and Braun gets pulled out of the ring by one or the other, and Ellsworth gets pinned in 5 seconds.
That would be funny.
That would be
somewhere. Zach Cook, by the way, is shuddering right now at that thought. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
That serves a few purposes. First of all, it keeps the titles on Sheamus and Cesaro where they should be.
Yes.
B, it keeps Braun Strowman extremely strong, and C, we get to see James Ellsworth's bones literally turned into mush. And Braun destroys him for costing him the tag.
That may have just made the argument for me, actually. That might have been the argument I needed for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now, where I'm sure this is going to go. It turns out last week that a certain member of the roster who has been off TV for a while just got a brand new contract and just said that he is not going anywhere for a while. And that is the Big Show.
Ooh.
Yes.
I could see the Big Show being...
I would love that.
Here's my question for that.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish
okay.
the scenario. Braun starts the match, wrestles it for about 10 minutes, always just short of tagging in Big Show. But then he finally tags in Big Show. Big Show climbs over the ropes, punches Braun one time, KO, and walks out.
Like in pure Big Show fashion.
Yes. Big Show walks in, turns on Braun, and walks out.
Ooh.
Depending on for the next few months. That's where I think this is going to go.
Those are both very possible.
I like that theory a lot more than the Elias theory, and a
Me
hell
too.
of a lot more than the Ellsworth theory. My question with that is Big Show healthy enough? Because that dude had his hip replaced.
Well, I mean, he has been signed. He, according to him, has been signed to a multi-year contract. So,
all right, wow,
he's all set to go from there.
All right.
Yeah.
As the person that he's inducting, Mark Henry, said after his beautiful Oscar-worthy speech with John Cena, he's got plenty left in the tank. So we'll see. I'm excited. That's great news.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we can move on now.
Yes.
I guess let's do the other tag matches before we start doing the championship matches.
Hey, Greg.
We will start out. Yeah, okay, fine. We'll start out with the return of, and he's tagging with Shane McMahon, and they're going to go up against the fired Kevin Owens and Zayn, who actually fun to see Kevin and Sammy what they've been doing off TV as much as on TV. On Twitter, Kevin changed his Twitter handle in fight back to his real name and his former self, and
Sammy.
The other one was Sammy. Yeah. Well, a friend of Sammy tweeted for the first time in about 4 years. Sammy's friend El Generico. He tweeted "Hola" for the first time in years. So it's been interesting to see what's going on there. Now, on the other side, we have the returning Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Daniel Bryan has been going through therapy for the last couple of years to get him past this concussion-prone state that he's been in. I am still extremely hesitant about this. I really don't want him to get hurt. Because he's been one of my favorite performers out there. Hey, if he's gone through all these doctors and all these things, well, and this is what he wants to do, well, okay. You could see in the week that he got cleared, it was Kevin and Sammy turned on him viciously and beat him down. But if you go back and watch it, you can see both Sammy and Kevin are both extremely soft with him, and they're working as safe as humanly possible. Like basically missing things by a mile just to make sure, like this guy's gonna be okay. The only like major hard spot that he took was the power bomb on the ring apron.
Right.
And
which that was more of a back thing as opposed to a head thing. He could take that.
Right. And you could definitely see like almost the hesitance in Kevin and Sammy. And but those are the men, not the performers.
Yes.
And then we have the 6-month-long feud that Shane McMahon has been having with Kevin Owens and now Sami Zayn. That led to that that Hell in the Cell match where Sammy turned for the first time, and I believe first time in his career.
Yes.
And and he's been absolutely amazing as a heel. And so we get now to the point. The penny drops when you find out that the stipulation in the match. Well, we should say that what caused Kevin and Sammy to turn on Daniel Bryan was Daniel Bryan, in his capacity as GM, firing the two of them. So they are technically fired right now, kayfabe-wise, obviously. And the stipulation on this match is Kevin and Sammy's careers are on the line. So there is roughly zero chance that the WWE is out of the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn business.
Well, aren't they just? Isn't the stipulation just that they're off SmackDown though?
I believe.
I don't think it's completely that they're out of the WWE. So that kind of changes things a little, but.
I also don't think the stipulation really matters in the grand scheme of things. Well, obviously it doesn't in the grand scheme of things because of the whole rumored superstar shakeup happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, win or lose, they're probably going to go back to Raw or just stay on SmackDown because of the whole, oh, I'm on this show now or I'm on this show now. It's not really going to matter. I think
the finish. The finish is probably depending on if it's gone from the WWE or gone from SmackDown. If it's gone from SmackDown, Daniel Bryan probably is winning the match. If it's the other way around, then the question is like whether Daniel or Shane is the one that turns on the other.
Exactly. I think based on the way the storyline's been playing out, it makes more sense for Daniel to turn on Shane because he's had this long-term relationship with these two. He's known them for 15 years, and then he can also play the angle that Shane was one of the ones that kept him out of wrestling for the last 3 years. So they've got a double angle they could play why he would turn on Shane McMahon. So it totally makes sense that's where this might go.
I agree.
The counter argument to that is that Shane is a McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
True. True. Here's my theory on this. I agree that one of them will turn on each other. I think both will turn on each other. I think Shane's going to turn on Daniel first, and then somebody's going to eat the pin, I think. If I honestly, I want Shane and Daniel to win. It may not happen, but somebody on that team will probably eat the pin. Daniel's going to get the final word on that between Daniel and Shane, because now that Daniel's a full-time cleared wrestler, he's not going to be GM anymore. So, that and either continue a feud with Shane or what I'm hoping will happen, enter a feud with Kevin.
No, you know what? I don't think it's going either way. I suspect as soon as WrestleMania is over, he's when he becomes an active wrestler, he's going to head to SmackDown, and his Miz feud is going to start right away.
I hope that happens.
We will definitely...
if you've been watching Miz's social media, he's been playing it up a little bit. Him and Maurice have been hamming it up a little bit at Daniel Bryan's expense. And given what happened last year with him saying, "Oh, you'll never get in the ring, you can't do anything to me," it totally makes sense that now that he's back in the ring, guess who he's going to go after? So my theory is that he's going to take out Shane. Kevin and Sammy are going to win, and then he's immediately going to go to Raw tomorrow night, and they're going to start on that path with the feud with him and the Miz for probably the big match will happen probably not till SummerSlam, but they'll start something for the build up probably right away.
Yeah. Let's since we brought up the Miz, let's move on to his match because we'll save the other match for the other tag match for later. Since it's probably going to be one of the last matches on the card. But the Miz is going to be defending his Intercontinental Championship versus Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. So this one is probably going to be super, super athletic.
Yep.
It's an interesting styles clash between them. Seth and Finn had an absolutely incredible match on Raw. I believe it was last week.
It was last week.
And this is one of those ones that could go one of multiple ways. I think this is going to be Finn Balor taking this, and I guess in the interest of time, I'm going to leave it at that. Because I think that's probably the best way to go with this. It should be a very good match. The Miz is, as I've said, the best heel on the roster. He is so good at making people hate his guts, and he doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship to do that. And well, Finn could use the championship to help boost himself up a little bit. So.
I agree. This is Finn's time to shine. Seth has been lighting the world on fire since Finn has been injured with the whole feud with Triple H and everything with that. But I agree that it's going to be a very, very highly physical match, but we need a big win. We need a big win for Finn, and he could do some really big things with an Intercontinental Championship reign. I could see him feuding with the Miz for a while, unless they throw Daniel Bryan in. But yeah, I think this is Finn's time to shine.
Yeah.
I think the Miz is going to retain, actually. My theory behind that is he's very, very close to beating the record for total days held for the Intercontinental title. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's basically within 2 weeks.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes almost held it for an entire year.
No. This is total.
Oh, total
length.
Total reign.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So he's 2 weeks out from total amount of days that he's held the Intercontinental title between all of his reigns. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
which also means, if he does lose it, he's just going to win it again back later, and 2 weeks into his reign, he breaks the record. But I suspect he may break it now. The only reason I think that is that they've brought it up a couple times on programming, and usually they're only going to bring something like that up if they're planning on having him beat that record,
right?
Yeah. Or get very close and fall short. But
then
I guess we'll see. Exactly.
So, okay. So then we can go from there to the U.S. Championship match, where Randy Orton completed his career slam by taking the U.S. Championship on at Fastlane. I was of the opinion starting at the Rumble that this was going to be Randy Orton winning this because he had never won the U.S. Championship. I thought he was going to win it at WrestleMania and complete the title sweep there. As it is right now, he's the U.S. Championship. It's, he's had an incredible career, held every title possible for him to hold, but in this match, he's facing Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and the very, very recently added Rusev. I think, seeing as how WrestleMania falls on Rusev Day, I think we have.
Oh, please.
Every day is Rusev
I
Day.
think I think this is one we're all going to be on agreement on. Rusev needs the push. He needs to win this now.
He needs the official face push, like the official face push.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think it's been interesting because there was actually a report like last week. I'm not sure if it was if it ended up being false or not, but the report was that Rusev asked for his release a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
because it was like he was super frustrated at the fact that he wasn't going to be on WrestleMania or that he was going to be in the Battle Royal. And I'm not sure if that's true or not. That came from like PW Insider or PW Spyware, as they're so nicely nicknamed. And I don't see that happening. I think they know what they have in Rusev. They have a charismatic guy who is moving merchandise, who has done everything that they've asked him to do, and shined through it all. He got this Rusev Day thing over incredibly. I mean, like he got it over. That wasn't anybody else except for him. And
then they got Aiden English on with him, who just made it even louder. Basically amplified it twofold.
Yeah, Aiden English, whose career was basically over in the WWE, with the Vaudevillains coming up and just being dead on arrival. But like they found this gimmick, and it worked for them. And I think this is Rusev's time. But that the whole point to all that was that Rusev was actually added to this match because
keep him around.
Somebody personally appealed to Vince and showed him like how much merchandise Rusev was moving, and Vince was actually surprised by it, and so they're like, yeah, we need to get him on in the match, and so they stuck him in the U.S. title match. Bobby Roode and Jinder, they're fine. Bobby Roode is miscast as a face, and
hopefully they'll fix that soon enough, though.
Yeah, so it's frankly important, but whatever. And Jinder's Jinder. You know, it's the less said about Jinder Mahal, the better.
It's the India thing. They gotta keep India. They gotta keep that reputation they get.
Keeping up appearances. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're all in agreement there that Rusev could and should win that match. So now let's move on to the women's.
Why don't we, before we do that, let's talk about the official match that's going to happen.
The non-official.
We all know that. Let's be honest. If John Cena Undertaker doesn't happen, this is the biggest cock tease that WWE has ever done. So there's no way in hell that it's not happening.
I mean, the match is happening.
Yes.
Meltzer talked about it this week, and he said that this whole angle has been Vince's brainchild. Basically saying that people were going to pay that the Undertaker isn't essentially a draw now. the thought of the Undertaker is a draw, and that's what people are paying for, is the chance to see the Undertaker, not the Undertaker in a match, which is whatever. But this whole feud has been Vince's idea, and it's exactly what he wants it to be. Supposedly, he's extremely happy with everything, how it's gone.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any. Well, I should also add, I'm sorry, to them saying that that Undertaker is not a draw, is that apparently when Daniel Bryan got cleared, that actually moved tickets. So so that's a good thing.
Daniel Bryan getting cleared, by the way, happened on my birthday, and that was an amazing birthday present for me. So I just got to say.
Which again also fell on Rusev Day, which is good. So,
I think we all know it's a foregone conclusion. He's coming back. This will be his last match. He's gonna beat Cena. The only other variable that might happen is he may come back as the American Badass version of the Undertaker and not the traditional Taker.
Why do you got to build up my hopes like that, Greg? Why? Why do you do that to me?
Because Kid Rock was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kid Rock's going to be there. In theory, if we go under what happened at last WrestleMania, he took off his gear, he put it in the ring as if to say, the Undertaker's gone. So it would totally make sense that based on that he may come out as the other Undertaker, but I guess we'll see him. That's my thought on that.
It would make sense, but it's just, I don't know.
But then again, is that what you want to see in the Undertaker's last match? Do you want to see that version, or do you want to see the traditional Undertaker that we're used to?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just get in the ring with Cena, tombstone him, pin him, and then right off.
Yeah,
that's all I see.
I mean, but one thing's for sure, it'll be much easier for him to get down the runway on a motorcycle than walk down it himself.
And like still walking down.
I agree with all that, and the only thing I'll add is the only theory that I've seen out there that varies from that is that Undertaker will call him out for a match for Mania 35, and that would be
really
match.
Okay. Yeah.
Just get it over with already. Just get your win back in the place where you lost the streak, and that's it. It'll be done. So let's talk about the women's matches. I think there's one title match which is a lot more interesting than the other one. So let's deal with the one that's interesting. I think Nia Jax is going to obliterate Alexa Bliss. The only question in my mind there is whether Alexa pulls out some nefarious bullshit to keep her title.
Who would have thunk that Nia would be a face in this, though?
Yes!
I'm so happy that she is I'm so happy that they made her the face with a vengeance. You know, with a revenge.
This has got to be very hard for Alexa to do this storyline. I give her a lot of credit because if you know where she's come from, she's talked very openly about having eating disorders and been in treatment for anorexia and bulimia. And all of a sudden now she has to do a fat shaming storyline on somebody else.
But at the same time, she's working with her best friend.
That's true.
Biggest stage of them all. So I think for these two women to work together in the Super Bowl of their company is I think they're going to be like, honestly, I think after the match they're going to hug each other and cry and be like, we made it. Oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love these two so much because
they
have with each other is just beautiful. So I love it.
What do we think about the possibility? There's rumors floating out there, and it's the only thing that seems to make sense at this point in time. What do we think about the rumors that Carmella might cash in on Raw instead of SmackDown?
I would not be surprised about that either.
I wouldn't be surprised about that,
yeah, because I don't think it makes sense with the current we haven't talked about the other match yet, but I think that other match is pretty much a foregone conclusion which way it's going to go. And
not necessarily. And
you don't think?
Let's go ahead.
We'll get to that in a minute. But all right. Well, if we're going there, I don't think there's any way they're going. I don't think they're going to kill Asuka's streak.
No.
That's the whole. That's the whole thing.
Right.
So we're obviously talking about the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's going to be Charlotte defending against Asuka. I am still shocked that Vince hasn't directed the announcers to call her Asuka. But hey, props to him for proper Japanese pronunciation. I will. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not saying this is a lock for Asuka to win. I don't, or an Asuka lock, if you will. I think Charlotte has a shot here. I think it should be a very hard hitting, a great match overall. And I think Asuka's going to win, but I wouldn't totally shocked if Charlotte is the one to take the streak and knock Asuka down a peg. Because Asuka has been a goddess on her way up the roster and up the card.
Yeah.
I think she could stand, at this point, I think she could stand a loss.
Yeah.
Not going to hurt her, especially if it's in a fantastic match like this. And, I mean, the other thing, though, is that, and you may hate me for this, but I think we could have something along the lines of Carmella hiding under the ring.
Yeah.
From the Women's Battle Royal all the way through whenever Asuka Charlotte hits. And once Asuka wins,
long ass time.
Once Asuka give her a beanbag chair or something down there, and because nothing else.
Just give her a trap door.
Yeah, and at the end of the match, have her just slip out from under the ring, brain Asuka with the briefcase, cash in and win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah, from Asuka?
That has no.
Hell no! Oh no! That would cause me such outrage.
Here's my
exactly, and you will pay to see the rematch. Carmella running from Asuka for and and to get out of that match. That could be fun.
It could be fun, but I don't know. I don't know if I can foresee that happening. Do you really want to see? Do you want to see Asuka's streak get killed by Carmella out of all people?
Here's the thing. Who
else could do it?
Exactly. It has to end sometime.
It does. It does. I was going to say that because I think Asuka having that streak is hindering the other wrestlers on the roster because they all have to work around that streak, and they all have to take the falls to her. Whereas if she gets her first loss, at least then they can build a back and forth storyline where someone loses to her and then they win a match. And right now they can't do that, so she does have to lose it. Whether it's going to be at WrestleMania, I don't know, but I'm thinking it'll be more than likely.
Here's my thought. Mm-hmm. I still think it's too early for Asuka to get pinned. Because she's won everything. She just won the Mixed Match Challenge. She's won everything. Except the championship. I could see her being champion. And if the match does go to completion without Carmella, I can see excuse me, I can see the match with Charlotte Flair coming down to the wire. Now, if we add Carmella into the mix, I could see her, well, you know what? I could see her pinning either girl. I think it's more realistic if she pins Charlotte and then they both, and then Charlotte and Asuka both chase Carmella around for the next few weeks or months and just play the whole thing out like a Scooby-Doo episode. Which I think
she takes, or as I think is going to happen, she takes the easy way out and cashes in on a damaged Alexa Bliss at the end of her championship match.
I could see that happening more, and I could also, which is why I could see Charlotte and Asuka having a masterpiece of a match. To be honest, I think Carmella would be better utilized at this point, probably on Raw than SmackDown. Yes.
Because I have a feeling SmackDown's getting a couple of women call-ups post WrestleMania, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later too.
Which is honestly
my whole point with Carmella catching in on Asuka is you end the streak to get that out because like you said, like Greg said, everybody has to work around the streak. Like the Mixed Match Challenge was fun until the moment that Asuka brought up the streak. When they brought up the streak, the tournament was over. You know, they're not going to end the goddamn streak during the Mixed Match Challenge.
No,
right.
Especially if Asuka is counting those matches towards the streak.
Exactly.
And so that took out a little bit of the fun from the Mixed Match Challenge, which was otherwise fine. But the point being that nobody is ready for Asuka, first of all, but nobody is worthy of the streak. The only person that could be is Ronda, and she is a complete unknown at this point.
And we won't know till WrestleMania if she is or not. Yeah.
And it's not going to be something that anybody's going to be satisfied with. So, why not toss this out there now? Just let's end this. Let's move on, and let's set up some new feuds. But speaking of Ronda, let's talk about that before we get into the world title matches. The now debuting Rowdy Ronda Rousey is going to tag with Kurt Angle after the WWE couldn't get The Rock.
Or Batista.
Or Batista, right? Which was the other thing that they were talking about. So she is going to team up with Kurt Angle to face Triple H and Stephanie. Now it's a foregone conclusion that Ronda will win her her first match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, do we really need to talk any more about this? It's just
I really want a ridiculous Hunter entrance.
Who doesn't want that?
Oh,
Exactly.
of course. Especially that they had the opportunity to come out together this time.
They've done it before. They did the police. They did the police escort. Then they did the whole, like everybody from
the Mad Max,
is like, goons, and then they had the Terminator. Let's not forget that. And Triple H sitting on a throne with with Charlotte, Sasha, and Alexa before they were called up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
excited for his grand entrance for that, especially with Stephanie too. But
they missed a small opportunity with against the match with Rollins last year, having Hunter come out and just like in full Mad Max going,
"Yes,
do not become addicted to Rollins."
But I think otherwise, I think you both are right. This match is a foregone conclusion. Like
the
writing's there.
Let's also just hope that his entrance won't be as long as the Undertaker's.
Oh God! Well, if American Badass comes out, he's going to be driving his Harley down the ring. But we'll see.
Faster, yeah. The only other thing is what, let's see what they have in Ronda. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they work with her, to see how much she sells, if she sells, because frankly, it could be something along the lines of her tagging in after Angle gets beaten down for a while. Stephanie comes in super cocky and just gets arm barred and taps out in less than a minute. But I don't think they're gonna.
One thing's for sure: girl needs to take some acting lessons.
Yes. God, yeah. Oh my God.
Let's be fair. I'm sure Ronda's dumb as a box of rocks, and and from the things she said on social media,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, let's just say she is not an ally, and leave it at that. But all that being said, she's an incredible fighter, a super performer. Hopefully she is picked up a lot. It looked from that the videos that they put out on YouTube that they basically stuck her with Shayna Baszler, who is a good thing for them to do.
I'm gonna say this: as soon as they call up Shayna and they make her feud with Ronda, like that's money. I can't wait to see that, because those two, they know each other, they can go hard with each other, and that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
but I feel like up until then, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch.
I think honestly, it's one of the more underrated aspects is that Stephanie knows how to work.
Yes,
and Stephanie will do everything she can to hide the fact that Ronda Rousey is green as grass. And but like I said, I think there's no question whatsoever as to what the outcome of that match is going to be. My only question is whether or not that goes last, which I think it does. But
probably, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other two matches.
Yeah, the final two matches. The first of all, for the WWE Championship, the rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 10, Shinsuke Nakamura versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Speaking of non-allies,
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't look up AJ Styles' social media or his thoughts on all that stuff. Just don't. It's probably for the best.
For a second, speaking of
yeah.
allies, how fucking awesome is Finn Balor?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say that.
Yeah. That shirt is on order, and hopefully I'll have it by the end of the month.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you guys are made it this far into this video and are still watching us, check out Finn Balor's Finn Balor Club for Everyone shirt, and it's great, and it's a portion of it gets donated to GLAAD, and we'll just leave it at that. So this match, Nakamura Styles. This is basically a complete toss-up for me. I am sure this match is going to be fantastic, mainly because Nakamura has been lazy, let's just say, in all matches on the main roster. And hopefully this match will provide him the motivation to bring out that guy that was in New Japan and the one that was fighting against Samoa Joe and had a lot of really, really good matches on NXT. I'm thinking that that this will be Nakamura's crowning moment in his career so far. Somebody pointed out AJ Styles has had the championship for a third of his WWE career. It is like basically he has become the Bret Hart of WWE, in that when they don't know what to do with the title, they just throw it on him and just like, yep, you have it right now. And, you have good matches. You can build a feud. You know how to work. Off you go. Which kind of makes me sad that he wasted all that time in TNA. But here we go. Here we are. And it's going to be a lot of fun seeing two guys who weren't in the WWE as little as 2 years ago go out and have an absolutely kick-ass match. Hopefully they give them 20 to 25 minutes to work, and they can pull out one of those New Japan classics. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I also see this as an absolute toss-up, going down to the wire, and I see Shinsuke. I see Shinsuke going as hard as he did on NXT and in New Japan with AJ, because obviously you got Wrestle Kingdom 10 to match that bar up to. So I see this going for a while, and I see Shinsuke. I see Shinsuke coming out with that win after a very, very, very hard fought match that these two can work the hell out of and really, really captivate the crowd with. I don't really have much else to say with that. I expect I've got very high expectations. And I know I'm going to be pleased no matter what. So,
Yep, I'm agreeing. I agree with you guys. Everything you guys said. I mean, Matt was exactly what I was thinking. So, no more to be said than that. I think with that match.
Let's just hope that, I know AJ had been dealing with a nagging injury before, so my only concern about that is I just hope he's 100%. He should be. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it was probably just like a little stinger or something that he was dealing with. He should be fine, but I don't think there's going to be anything holding him back, or Shinsuke for that matter. So
I agree. So now, last and probably least,
absolutely least, because we all know the outcome to this, and we all know what's going to happen.
The WWE Universal Championship is on the line with Brock Lesnar defending against Roman Reigns.
So,
look, the Roman Reigns thing is happening. It's
whether we like it or not
anymore. It's not. It's just gonna happen. Just let it happen. Let Vince have his thing, and that's it. I mean,
the only plus I'll say to this whole thing is we'll actually see title defenses again.
Yes, absolutely.
The belt will actually become relevant. Will have some relevance again and have some title defenses.
And what I'm
gonna give.
Yeah, sorry, you go, Kelvin. Okay. What I'm also happy about is obviously we know what's going to happen. Roman's gonna win. Like somehow Roman's gonna win because Brock's just gonna let his contract expire and he's gonna go to UFC. That's a foregone conclusion.
I mean, Dana White said it this week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they teased during Fastlane when Brock basically just spent the whole weekend with Dana in Las Vegas, and it's gonna happen. Like that's gonna happen. He's gonna drop the title to Brock. Whatever. I've been past that. I'm already looking for a head forward past WrestleMania. What I'm excited for is Samoa Joe's finally going to come back. He's going to start the feud with Roman. Hopefully, they're going to put the title on Joe. And that'll start off a new thing, kind of a new era with Joe basically leading the Raw roster as their big guy. That's been a long time coming. I just hope he doesn't get injured again because he's been getting bitten by the injury bug a few times. I just want Samoa Joe to do well because he's been long overdue for a title run. I
want Samoa Joe just to do bad things to you. I mean,
what?
You want Samoa Joe?
There's that too, but like like you, like Greg, like everyone else in the world, we are sick of Roman Reigns getting pushed down our throats. And I'm
gonna give you a little contrarian take on this.
Okay.
So, here's the thing with Roman Reigns. You ask Roman Reigns is a wrestler's wrestler. The guy can talk. He can work. He can I don't care what you say. Go find me a bad Roman Reigns match when he's on a pay-per-view. He's against a good opponent. That man can fucking work. And I'm coming around. I mean, I'm really coming around on him because
Did you not watch last year's WrestleMania? It was
that match was fine. I mean, like matches are at least fine. And you ask any wrestler that's out there, they all say, "Oh my God, this guy is amazing at this. Like he's really good worker. He knows how to sell. He knows how to do all these things." He absolutely has suffered from receiving the what's known as the Being John Cena Championship, where they will throw everything on him, and and everybody's expected to love him and adore him, and everybody's just like, The fact of the matter is, putting the title on him is a good thing.
Yes,
I agree. It gets them out of the Brock Lesnar business. It gets them a champion who will defend the title in very, very good matches, which is what they want.
I agree
from that championship.
If there's any person that I hate more, I mean, I don't. I don't hate Roman Reigns. I just hate the way that they've been pushing him. If there's anybody that I really hated more in WWE, it's Brock Lesnar. So, like it's just, yeah. Like I'm glad this is happening. It's a good thing.
It's not Brock Lesnar that I hate. It's unmotivated Brock Lesnar that I hate.
Yes.
And that's what it's been for the last 3 years. Those first matches where he was fighting Cena and Triple H and Punk, that Punk match is still, from SummerSlam, was still an amazing match. Mainly because Punk knows exactly how to work with that kind of guy. But then after that, he's just fallen off a cliff in terms of like motivation or having good matches or anything like that. The closest thing to a good match that he had was defending it one-off against Samoa Joe. And again, because Joe knows exactly how to work with fucking animal like Brock Lesnar.
Let's also not forget the Taker matches.
Yeah, well, that
okay, not SummerSlam.
Taker match in Mania 30 is probably
the match was good too.
Take a look at the entire roster. That entire card. That's probably the worst match on that card, and it's and I'm not even talking about the finish. I'm not like
no.
That's not even my point there. I just think that the WWE needs to get out of the Brock Lesnar business because, frankly, Brock Lesnar has been out of the WWE business.
Let's just call it the Brock Lesnar hole, honestly. It just feels like a giant hole.
Yeah. And it's time. It's just time at this point.
All right. Why don't we get to the wrap up phase? So we'll wrap this up really quickly with what we think is going to happen, what call ups are going to happen, and what's going to happen with the GM jobs.
Well,
should we start with call ups?
Let's do call ups first.
Yeah. I think people that are ready to be called up right now include Ember Moon is definitely ready to be called up.
Mm-hmm.
AOP.
Cien Almas is probably ready, but I just don't see. I don't see him fitting in well on the main roster, which is really unfortunate. I think he could definitely suffer from Alberto Del Rio syndrome, where like the guy's a super worker, but eventually becomes unmotivated and just ends up sucking because of it. I think those are the two that I would think are probably the prime candidates to move up right now.
The rumors are that the Authors of Pain, I think, are coming up regardless. Yeah, I think they're a sure thing
for sure.
The rumors have been that Peyton Royce and what's her face,
Billy Kay. Oh God.
Yeah. Apparently, they've been backstage for about the last month. At every Raw taping. So we'll see.
If they call them up with a means to introduce like a women's tag team championship, I think that would be a great idea. I really hope they do that because I know WWE has been starting to tease something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there's a rumor out there that they're going to be called up post WrestleMania, and it makes sense because when's the last time we've seen them on NXT? It's been a few months now.
Yeah.
So there's got to be, and they were using them quite heavily prior to that. So there's got to be some kind of plan in the works for them.
Oh yeah. What about Sanity?
Sanity, I could definitely see getting the call up. The only problem there is we already have the Bludgeon Brothers, and we don't know what we have in Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt is up there.
Add AOP to the mix.
Yeah,
we got a lot.
Honestly, out of that bunch, the only one I really care to see on the main roster right now is Nikki Cross.
Yes.
Yeah. The other ones are kind of like.
Eric Young is good and very deserving of the call up, especially because he's put in more than his share of time in TNA, so he needs he needs to get.
I don't think that faction will stay together when they start getting called up. No. I think you might see an Eric Young and a Nikki Cross call up, and the other two stay down. Because I don't think they're there yet. I don't think as a group they're all ready to be moved up yet.
Right. I can definitely see Killian Dane going his own way. I mean, he has been over the past few weeks. So
yes, they're getting. If you notice, they've been pushing him in a different direction, away from Sanity. So maybe that's what ultimately is going to happen. Maybe that faction is going to have a split on NXT in the next incoming weeks, and then Eric Young and Nikki Cross will get called up. But
we'll see.
It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of GMs, I don't even know who they're going to get to replace Daniel Bryan. There has been one name out there for the return, for a big return for SmackDown, and
Rey Mysterio.
No. Rey Mysterio wants to work. He wants.
Oh no! Sorry, I thought you were talking about. Sorry, we were talking about GMs. I thought you were talking about big wrestler returns.
Oh yeah, no. But he will be a big return when it happens.
The big name that's out there that they're talking about maybe having a return is the Immortal Hulk Hogan.
I don't really want to see that. I don't know.
I'm just like.
I have also heard there have been rumors of him returning as soon as WrestleMania.
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes an appearance tomorrow night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. That's it. That's it. Other than that, like Tony Schiavone was backstage on Raw.
We're going way back to WCW.
Wow, yeah.
That would actually be a lot of fun.
That would be interesting.
Funny.
I think they might. I think they might go with a female. Because we haven't had a female GM yet since the repackaging, so to speak.
Who is
the two that make sense to me that are still both being actively paid and on the roster right now that aren't wrestling are Paige and Nikki Bella.
Or
they are both they're both still on. They're both still getting paid by the WWE currently, and I know Nikki in the past has showed interest in the position.
Paige that would be a good way to keep her around.
Absolutely. I think Paige has done a good job with Absolution as being a manager, but I think they could use her in the GM role, and I think she would be a good choice for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's it. That's WrestleMania. Hopefully, we'll see a great card. It's absolutely stacked. I will say that, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good.
What I'm hoping for is that it won't suffer the same fate as previous WrestleManias, where the undercard will be a lot more entertaining than the main card, and it's looking like it's looking like they will finally break that curse, with the exception of Roman and Brock.
We'll see.
I guess we will see. All right, guys. Well, I don't know how many of you watched during this because I wasn't paying attention, but thank you everyone for viewing. And so for those of you who watch live, this will go on our YouTube page or later on today, so you'll be able to rewatch it. And all right, I guess that's it. So I hope all of you enjoy WrestleMania weekend.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy it.
Bye.
Bye.